Good morning, afternoon, or night. My name is Alejandro Mendoza, and today I will explain article of the page Science Direct. Uh, the topic is how about the market risk. This is the title of the article. It's geopolitical risk and clean energy markets, a counterfactor analysis based on TVP SBBAR model. Okay, by Kinan Jin, Jialin Chen, and Sifan Dai. Um, the three from China. Let's go the highlights. This paper investigates the impact of GPR in RAMs on clean and their underlying mechanisms. TBP-SBBAR model is combined with the Killian-Lewis style counterfactor analysis. GPR and RAMs can explain of the 65% of fluctuations in the clean over the same period. During periods of rising GPR, the slush ramps exacerbates the adverse effects of GPR on climate. Okay. Abstract. Achieving the dual carbon goals requires accelerating to energy transition. However, geopolitical risk (GPR) and fluctuations in the critical raw materials markets (REMs) pose significant changes to the clean energy market. To address this paper involved combines the BAPCABBAR model and Killian-Lewis style counterfactual analysis to investigate the impact of GPR and RAMs on clean and their underlying mechanisms. Our results indicate that the effects of GPR and RAMs on clean are characterized by significant time-varying features and rapid transmission, explaining approximately 23.91% to 71. I don't know how to say the punto, pero bueno. No sé cómo decir el punto en inglés, tengo que estudiar eso. 76.5% of the variations on clean over the same period. The impact of GPR on clean is notably event-driven, meaning that GPR shocks driven by different events have varying, even opposite effects on clean. The impulse response of current ramps is marked by a strong positive reaction or weak negative reactions, with the largest response occurring contemporaneously. Furthermore, we find that during periods of rising GPR, the negative response of 3Ms surpasses the adverse effects of GPR on crane. This study offers a fresh perspective for understanding the influence of geopolitical risk and the raw materials market on the development of clean energy and their intrinsic dynamics. Introduction. The 2022 100 risk report released by the World Economic Forum highlights that the most significant risks over the then years are related to climate and the environment. Reducing carbon emissions to combat climate change has become a global conscious. As of May 2024, 100, uh, 151 100 countries have pledged carbon neutrality goals. The core of achieving carbon neutrality lies in energy transition, which is an essential pathway for humanity to address climate change and achieve the sundown development. The 2020 Energy Technology Perspective report published by the International Energy Agency em- emphasizes the need for extensive development and deployment of clean energy technologies to realize energy transitions and climate objectives. According to the One World Energy Outlook, achieving the 1.5 um, C temperature control target requires annual investment in clean energy projects and infrastructure to grow to nearly 4 trillion by 2030. Against the backdrop of global warming and the push for low carbon development, clean energy has increasingly attracted investors' attention. Spurring a surge in late searching, despite growing impact on clean energy, its progress remains slow. The 2024 Founded Renewable Energy Global Set report by WEN21 reveals that the rising energy demand has not been fully met by renewable energy sources, leading the 1.1% increase in energy-related Q2 emissions in 2023 hundred. Therefore, conduct in-depth research on factors influencing clean energy market development and this transmitting maintenance not only investors in the some portfolio but also helps regulars better understand the dynamics of formation dissemination in clean energy markets. Previous studies have primarily examined factors driving the development of green energy market for perspective of relative markets and macroeconomic factors. The former includes green bonds, traditional national energy, carbon markets, and technology markets. The latter encompasses economic policy uncertainty, energy policies, climate policy uncertainty, and investor sentiment. In recent years, the rise of trade protectionism and frequent regional conflicts have driven geopolitical risk to persistently high levels. According to the last survey by Oxford Economics in 2023, geopolitical risk is not regarded by business as a great threat to global economic development and will remain a primary focus for companies over the next 5 years. Since the seminal work of Caldera and Ecopello, surely research on geopolitical risk has shifted from focusing on specific events to exploring its advanced studies. Research funding suggests that GPR not only impacts macroeconomic conditions, but also significantly affects financial markets. Against this backdrop, the clean energy market cannot remain affected. Related research has begun to emerge. However, a review of previous studies in the relationship between GPR and the clean energy market yields mixed results. On the one hand, Dud and Dud, Suda et al. And Sweden argued that GPR promotes the development of clean energy market to market subjecting effects and energy security considerations. On the other hand, some studies indicate that GPR handles energy transitions regarding the mechanisms of influence. Most research established the transmission channel between GPR and the clean energy market by the crude oil market. In contrast, studies focusing on the upstream critical raw materials market and its relationship with the clean energy market are scarce. This was primarily examined the direct link linkage between the two. In fact, the accelerated global transition to clean energy has led to surge in demand for raw materials such as minerals and metals. According to the International Renewable Energy Agency, 1.5 scenario, renewable energy is expected to account for 91% of the global energy made by 2015. This trend in turn will increase the installed capacity of various new energy sources from uh, uh, 33 thousand GWh in 22 to 33 thousand by 2050. Difíciles la lectura de números. The extrusion of green energy technologies and infrastructure will significantly boost the demand for certain minerals and metals, referred to this paper as raw materials. According to the estimates from EA, by 2040, demand of lithium, nickel, cobalt, rare earth elements, copper, and silicon is expected to grow by factor 42, 33, 21, 7, and 3 and 2, respectively, compared to 2020 levels. On the one hand, the high degree of geopolitical concentration of global mineral resources makes GPR highly prone to translating into supply disruption risk. On the other hand, the rising finalization of commodities allow GPR to affect raw materials markets through risk premium and market sentiment. Superficially, there is a lack of systematic studies exploring the relationship between geopolitical risk, raw materials, and the clean energy market. In the context of escalating climate change and frequent geopolitical events, the aim of this paper is to clarify the impact of geopolitical risk and the raw materials market on the clean energy market. And these three mechanisms, on the hand, you use the TBP CBIR model to examine how GPR and RAMs influence screen across different time scale. On the other hand, building up the former within the time varying framework, we combine counterfactual analysis to investigate whether RAMs played a mediating role in the impact of GPR on screen. Researching these two issues is a significant importance for maintaining the stability of the raw materials supply chains and promoting the development of clean energy. The main contributions of this paper are as follows. In terms of research methodology, we innovatively combine the TBP is BAR model with the KR counterfactual method presented by Kellan and Lewis. In previous counterfactual analysis, most literature he had counterfactual impulse response function based on Scott BAR model coefficient to study the role of mediating variables which are grounded in a simple average perspective. To understand the importance of a variable of interest at a given time, prior studies have typically constructed a counterfactual historical sequence for comparisons with the actual sequence. However, historical decomposition invented level introduces bases on the early periods of the sample and the persistence of the bias depends on the bar model characteristic root. The closer that characteristic root is to one, the longer the bias persists, spread by the counterfactual impulse response calculation method proposed by Chen. We attempt to combine this with the TBPCBAR model, allowing us to obtain dynamic counterfactual impulse response at a given point in time without the loss in sample information. It is worth noting that this method is somewhat similar to counterfeit analysis established in a time-varying framework by Primiseri, Fu and Guan, and with Klim et al. However, there are key differences. The former primarily examines the impact of a pattern of intentionality by constructing counterfeit paths, while we focus on constructing counterfactual boost response to investigate the methoding role of variables of interest. In terms of research content, there is significant requirement regarding whether GPA drive or hinder the development of green energy market. This paper attempts to avoid a possible contribute to this debate. Furthermore, there is limited analysis of the transmission channels between GPR and clean, with the modest studies focusing in the oil market to the best of our knowledge. This is the first study to systematically examine the role played by upstream raw materials marketing in the relationship between GPR and clean using to propose methodology. Additionally, unlike most studies that focus on the polling markets, such as a study is as the United States, we focus on China's clean energy market. As the world's largest energy consumer and the second largest government, China has made significant progress in development its green energy market. However, emerging markets, due to their inherent vulnerabilities, may face higher market risk than developed markets. Therefore, our work, which investigates the factors and mechanisms affecting China's clean energy market, is a great significance for promoting clean energy development and achieve carbon neutrality goals. The structure of this paper is as follows. Section 2 reviews the relevant literature, Section 3 presents the modality, Section 4 presents the empirical results, Section 3 5 provides the conclusion of the paper. Well, this is all for the page. Um, um, we can read because we need to text to read the whole article, but it's so large. So this is all I can resume the article. Así que bueno, vamos a resumir lo que fue el artículo. Bueno, el artículo habla sobre todo cómo el cambio climático, los riesgos geopolíticos pueden afectar al mercado en sí. Habla sobre unos porcentajes, que los que me costó leer, pero pues habla sobre como que se reportaron en distintos años, estaba en el calentamiento global. Entonces, como iba aumentando cada año. Y bueno, el artículo como tal trata de como de dar distintas soluciones para el uso de energía limpia, para como el mercado, como el mundo debe usar mejores energías para detener ese calentamiento global y prevalecer las energías verdes, energías limpias. Hablaba, incluía varios materiales que él decía que era que el litio, el níquel, el cobalto, por acá estaba el carbón. Así que, bueno, como tal de eso trataba ese artículo sobre que en muchos países también hay muchos conflictos geopolíticos que pueden como interrumpir los suministros. Y sí, eso es el estudio de las materias primas, sobre todo. El estudio de las materias primas, los contextos de los países, en cómo, bueno, el modelo TBSP bar es, permite analizar cómo cambian las relaciones económicas a lo largo del tiempo. Me puse a investigar un poquito de eso, es como que sirve para ver cómo las relaciones entre países internacionales afectan a escala mundial. Y bueno, eso fue todo por hoy. Ah, artículo que me costó leer hoy, pero bueno. Muchas gracias, profe. Quedo atento a su real natural alimentación. Y nada. Buen día, buenas tardes, buenas noches.